If history repeats, we are about to move into the most exciting part of this entire 4-year cycle. It's the last 6 months, and this also brings the eye-watering, face-melting, sleep-depriving rallies that crypto is famous for. It's where altcoins finally massively outperform Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin maxis feel maximum frustration as even the dog and cat coins begin to outperform the king. In this video, as always, we'll be covering everything you need to know about this bull market, including the latest price action and the key levels to watch, what's going on with seasonality, where are we in the 4-year cycle, and then finish with the biggest developments from all around the world in just the past couple of weeks. Okay, so first up, with all the craziness going on with the latest war in the Middle East, let's check out the latest price action. Okay, so jumping in with Bitcoin USD on the daily, and what do we have? Well, for me, these are the two lines that I've been watching for the past couple of months now, really. And where do these two lines come from? Well, this one was Bitcoin's previous all-time high set at the beginning of the year, 20th of January. And then this one's a key pivot line here, which is about the 100,000. And obviously people like big, fat, round numbers. So the $100,000 level, I think, is a very key line as well. And if we just zoom back in, you can see ever since really the beginning of May, so May and June, it's just been a series of going sideways in this parallel channel. We did get a breakout, a new all-time high, but it quickly couldn't get held. Tried again, but it couldn't hold. And then the breakdown happened, but again, the breakdown didn't hold. Another test of a breakout, again couldn't hold. Then we had the war that's been going on, which obviously unsettled prices. But again, Bitcoin showed a lot of strong resilience, jumping right back, and we're still in this channel. And so for me, with pretty much the last couple of years, this is just sideways consolidation, building up energy before the next big breakout. So that's what's going on with Bitcoin. Obviously, altcoins have been struggling more. Ethereum was showing great price action, very, very strong. But being king of the altcoins, it got crushed all the way down with what happened in the Middle East. And a lot of the altcoins are still quite a way off their lows. So Ethereum is still down 17%. So obviously altcoins getting hit the hardest on the downside and still have a way to go. Now, a couple of other things that have happened in the last couple of weeks which are definitely noteworthy. The first one is this stock here. So as you can see, we've just got one massive chunky green fat god candle. And what on earth is this? Well, this was the IPO of Circle. And Circle is the creator of the USDC stablecoin. And obviously with legislation almost being passed now in Congress regarding stablecoins, they probably IPO'd at exactly the right time. Now, TradingView picks this up at about $70. However, the people who had the initial shares in the company had them at about $30. But as we can see, just this month alone from $70, anyone who bought this has seen initially 100% gain, then 200% gain. At one point, it was up over 300% and has since now come back in a little bit. And this is one of the most frustrating things about crypto. There is always one coin, or in this case stock, which goes absolutely bananas. And if we just had all our money in here, we could have had the entire market cycle gains, 300% in just 1 month. This is one of the annoying things about crypto, but fair play, congrats to anyone who held Circle, as this has been some amazing gains. But I think once the legislation goes live, there's a good chance that this is going to have a major correction. And the other noteworthy stock has to be Coinbase. So let's just check out the price action of Coinbase. This IPO'd at the peak of the last bull market. It shot up to 430 and then it got absolutely crushed on the way down in crypto's bear market, bottoming all the way down at $30. I managed to make my position here just under 70. And this has been one hell of a wild ride with Coinbase. Huge runs, huge drops, but the last 3 months, check it out, from this bottom here, just the last 3 months up now 100 and almost 150%. So because altcoins have come down a lot and this one has obviously come up a lot, Coinbase is now my largest holding, and it's also a tax-free position, which is pretty cool. And we'll jump into why this happened a little bit later, but certainly it's noteworthy. Moving on to seasonality, and we're just going to look at quarterly returns for Bitcoin and Ethereum, because one thing has now jumped out. Q1 obviously was not good for the crypto market. We had almost 12% down for Bitcoin, Ethereum down 45%. However, Q2 has been much better. We've got 29% for Bitcoin. However, Ethereum is now leading Bitcoin at 35%. So the question is, has the bottom now been struck for the altcoins? Ethereum is king of the altcoins, and are altcoins led by Ethereum now going to be outpacing Bitcoin? Well, if we take a look at the Ethereum divided by Bitcoin chart, we can see something very interesting happened last month. There was major strength put in by Ethereum, and this may have signaled the bottom. So after many months of getting crushed against Bitcoin, this is a very strong candle here, and this correlates pretty much exactly to where the bottom was in the last cycle. And it was at this point where altcoins led by Ethereum began to outperform. So this is very, very interesting. We will find out very soon over the coming weeks whether altcoins are now going to start picking back up. So watch this space. Now, one of my favorite charts in crypto, the entire bull market brought together in just one chart. This is the current one, the one from 2021, and the 2017 one as well. So after this long sideways consolidation, obviously, where these had massive runs, we decided to take the opposite direction here with the Trump tariffs. However, a great recovery, and we're now moving into the last phase, the last 6 months of this cycle. And for me, I guess the key point, just to reiterate, there's a couple. One is that this entire bull market, which started from the bottom, just looks like a staircase. It's literally just one step after another step, 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 after another step. So these are just bull flags, consolidation, bull flags, consolidation, all the way up into the bull market. And then the other point, which is just as much I'm saying for myself as for other people, is that when it comes to the moves up, these are very sharp and very short-lived. And then most of the time after a move up, this sideways consolidation where it's actually going downwards, this is a much longer duration. A short, sharp move up, which feels euphoric, but then the vast majority of time, as we check the prices every single day, every single week, it's just a slow bleed down where you're losing money. So most of the time, it can feel pretty crappy. And obviously, if Bitcoin's going down, then altcoins are probably going down more. And even in the biggest, sharpest moves, this is when you get the longest sideways consolidation to digest the price. So here, this was really crappy. I remember it. But it was just up and down, bleeding down month after month after month after month until we get treated to the next major leg up. And then what have we just seen? Lots of sideways consolidation going down, so most of the time it feels pretty crappy. So welcome to the bull market. It is nothing like what people actually think it is. People just think that it's a nice smooth ride where everyone's making tons of money, where in fact most of the time we're actually losing money with short periods of euphoria. And it looks like we're really close. After coming down, we're probably going to get, like everything else, the next move to the upside. So that's great for Bitcoin, but the question is, what about the altcoins? Well, if we divide the altcoins by Bitcoin, we get this nice oscillator. And simply, if this is shooting up, then altcoins are massively outperforming Bitcoin. When this is coming back down, this is when Bitcoin is outperforming the altcoins. So this is alt season. This has been the long Bitcoin season. And similar to the last point, when the altcoins massively outperform, it's like a sharp vertical move, but then the vast majority of the time, these are monthly candles. This is month after month after month after month, where altcoins are just slowly bleeding against Bitcoin. And this, for this cycle, has certainly gone on a lot longer than expected. Bitcoin has been in charge for a very long time. And Ben believes that we are going to have to tag this cycle low like it has done here, these pivot points here, before altcoins begin to be back in control. So there's currently about 20% to go. And then the other major thing to point out is that altcoin season is way shorter than people expect. In the 2017 cycle, it was all done in just 1 to 3 months. This is where everything happened. Then 2021, it was all done in 5 months. So if history repeats, this literally could just be July starting next month into November, and that is pretty much altcoin season. So as you can see, we're getting really close. So very exciting times. So starting with what's going on around the world, we have Thailand has approved a 5-year capital gains tax-free exemption. So how cool is this for people in Thailand? The only downside is that it's starting from the beginning of this year. So all the gains that they've made so far, it doesn't include. However, anyone who's bought in 2025 this year, all the way into 2029 will get capital gains tax-free crypto. Pretty cool for people in Thailand. We've also seen Vietnam has pushed for crypto to come under a new digital tech law. So more countries are vying to be a crypto hub. We had, if you remember, there's so many states that have been pushing, trying to get legislation through to create their own Bitcoin strategic reserve. Well, Texas is the first one. And actually, this isn't just a Bitcoin reserve. It says any asset over $500 billion. So currently only Bitcoin falls into this category. However, I say when, not if. When Ethereum and maybe some others go past 500 billion, Texas will also be able to add Ethereum and others into their official reserve. So that's pretty cool. Now, we saw that the stablecoin bill has passed the Senate. It's now onto the House, which is happening very soon, maybe even this week. If this gets passed, then we have our first crypto legislation being passed in the US. And this is why the company like Circle and also Coinbase has been going crazy recently. However, with Coinbase, we've also had them recently joining the S&P 500. We had them about to launch crypto perpetual futures as well. JP Morgan has also created the JPMD coin, and they selected Base, which is Coinbase's Ethereum layer 2. So a mega bank choosing to work with Coinbase. And another one of the big ones is that they're seeking approval to begin trading tokenized stocks. So this is massive as well. So all of this has come in the last couple of weeks, which is why Coinbase has gone bananas. Oh, and let's not forget, they also got the license to be able to operate in Europe as well, all in just the last couple of weeks. And we have to finish with my chart of the month, which shows the blend of the last 3 cycles and why we could be seeing a bit of weakness probably into the middle of July, but then the massive, epic, eye-watering, face-melting rally last part of the cycle will be about to begin. If history repeats, we are about to enter the most exciting part of crypto's 4-year cycle, the last 6 months. Bitcoin is leading the charge right now, showing strong price action even through the latest war. Seasonality brings up a very interesting question. Has Ethereum now bottomed against Bitcoin and is on the way back up? Well, we'll all find out very soon. The 4-year cycle just says to me we are pretty much exactly where we should be right now, and that it's all on track. However, altcoins do have a bit of catching up to do. However, remember, it all happens in the last 3 to 6 months, or should I say 3 to 5 months. And the biggest developments from all around the world just keep coming in, and we now see many more countries trying to be the next big crypto hub. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Now, let's be honest, Q1 and Q2 have been tough, so congrats for getting through. It's never easy just holding on. However, now is the time to begin getting very excited for Q3, Q4, because if history repeats, this is where all the magic happens. If you do have any burning questions, then simply use super thanks below. However, just remember to get rid of 100% of the comment spam and trading bots that plague YouTube comments. We are trying out the new super thanks commenting system. So to get your question or comment read and replied to, or just to say thanks, then use super thanks below. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.